Good position for Wales now. I think they'd really like to get some points on the board before half-time.
France's sixth semi-final, Wales second. 24 years on from their first in the first ever Rugby World Cup. They played New Zealand, Sean Fitzpatrick and co. Came off second best that day in Brisbane. Hoping for a different story today, and it may yet be a different story. But if it is, it will be one of the more extraordinary ones. Sean of their captain Warburton sent off early on as Alan Wynne-Jones and Lionel Nallet go shoulder to shoulder.
It affects Wales so much in the set piece. They're having to shorten lineouts as well, which is something they probably haven't planned for, haven't practiced as much as they would have with the full lineouts. And the scrum as well, it's a massive concern for them. As soon as the scrum goes down, Paul James has been under pressure since he's come on.
And there it is again.
That's brilliant play by Toby Faletau. Fair play to him, under pressure in the scrum. That's great, great play.
Phillips to Faletau. He's been used in that role pretty much continuously throughout this first half. James Hook's done a fair amount of that as well. Wales will chase again, and Medar felt the pressure. Taken on by Hugh Bennett.
In the side, no! In the side, no. No knock advantage from the knock-on.
George North was the player who wasn't coming through that mythical gate. Coming in from the wrong position. And he hands possession back to the French after Medar's little slip.
Definite tactic from Wales to put the ball in the air as well. And when if France don't take those kicks, as they haven't so far, it gives Wales great opportunities. Like a turnover ball, the defence is in disarray. Really good opportunity for Wales to attack from there, and that's obviously where they target him.
Medar took a blow as he went down. One of the key areas as well now, Michael, will be that famed Welsh fitness. They've been careful to keep training sessions short and focused this week. One of them lasted just 38 minutes, replicating test match conditions. They have worked as hard as anyone coming into this tournament. They've continued to work as hard as anyone, but playing for the best part of an hour with 14 men will test it like never before.
Yeah, it's a massive test for them. I can just imagine Warren Gatland in the coach's area. He'll be fuming at that sending off, and I think he'll really try and put it over to Wales, make them believe that they can still win the game, because they still have looked probably the more threatening side with the ball in hand.
George North, 19-year-old, who's just overtaken David Young as the World Cup's youngest ever semi-finalist. David Young busying himself these days with Wasps in the Aviva Premiership. This is Faletau over the 22. Bonaire steps in, tries to wrestle back possession with a little bit of help from Nallet, but Bennett made sure that the ball remained in Welsh hands. Lydiate to Jones. Lydiate's there again, guarding the turret, making sure Phillips has all the time he wants to pick out his man, who is Hook. Lydiate had Faletau running off him, instead ran into Palisson. Phillips taken to the ground by Paul James, the early replacement. Hook now spinning it wide, perhaps the halfpenny. Slips again on the greasy surface. That shower we had just before kickoff has made a telling contribution at various points during this first half. Gethin Jenkins, 81st cap for him this evening. Phillips waits, drop goal from Hook. Never got off the floor.
I think James Hook just went for that at the wrong time. I think it was an opportunity much earlier in the play, and I think Wales might have to go for a little bit of a shift in tactics. You see there, he just under a bit more pressure. He's come a bit deeper. I think they might have to change the tactics a little bit and maybe be a little bit more conservative, maybe go for drop goals and go for them early in the sets, because the game is going to come down to those 3-pointers. It's not going to be, I don't think tries are going to be the decisive factor.
Phillips, one of those who will be playing in France once this tournament's done. Shane Williams, whose Test match career will be done at the end of the World Cup. Game and a half left for him now. Will that full game be the third place playoff on Friday or the final on Sunday? Hook taken on by North, but the ball was spilt. It was a nice idea.
No advantage coming. Lost forward here. Blue scrum.
Good idea, Shem, about the execution.
Yeah, it's just those little things going wrong for Wales, making mistakes that they haven't made in the games they played so well in. Just see here, James Hook taking the ball to the line, inside pass to George North.
Oh.
And if he could have taken it, I think it would have been very difficult for Nally to make the tackle.
Thank you. Seconds in. Seconds in, please. Thank you.
Time is up at the end of this first half.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Aaron Ordicke, the view from Spider Cam, high above Eden Park. Controlled by the number 8, then takes on his opposite number, Falatau. What do the French want here? Do they want more points, or they just want to head back for the dressing room with the lead? They've got it. The thoughts of Francois Pienaar, Lawrence Dallaglio and Martin Williams up shortly. Half-time in the semi-final. Wales, shorn of the skipper, 3, France 6.
A tackle characteristic of the intensity of this match, and it produces the one bit of red Wales didn't want to see and couldn't believe they were seeing. Captain Sam Warburton sent off. The odds favour France as that refereeing decision destroyed Welsh hopes. Well, there's only really one topic here in the studio from that first half. Martin Williams is with us, along with our other guest, Francois Pienaar, Lawrence Dallaglio as well. Sense of outrage when we saw that refereeing decision. Who wants to kick it off? Francois.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. I've calmed down now. I was livid. It's wrong. He's killed the game. He really has. It was a dangerous tackle, yes. It was a penalty, yes. At best, a yellow card. Never a red card in the final. If you go through the tackle, I mean, Sam Warburton has been one of the cleanest players in this Rugby World Cup. He's the captain of a team that's playing fantastic rugby. He sets himself in the tackle, makes the tackle, then lifts the player, but then releases the player. So yes, it was a dangerous tackle. Yes, give him a penalty. But to give him a yellow card, he's killed the game for us. I mean, I'm livid about it.
Red card, even worse. Your reaction?
Yeah, I think, he's got to have more empathy for the game. It's the first 20 minutes of a semi-final, and if anything, Sam's made too good a tackle. He's, the guy is probably 20 kilograms lighter than Sam. He's put a great hit on him, stopped him right down the gain line, which was Sean would have asked for, but it's a ridiculous decision and killed the game.
What do we have to look for in this tackle, Lawrence? I mean, in what ways did Sam get it wrong? What else could he have done?
Well, first of all, there's a great tackle there. He's got back on his feet, and then, as Martin says, it's a light play. He's lifted him up, as we see it here in super slow. He's lifted him up. He's realised that his feet have gone over, and he's let him go. I mean, he's not put him on his head.
If you look at there, Lawrence, there he lets him go. Now he lets him go. So fine, it is a dangerous tackle. We all agree with that in the studio.
Yeah.
But you in the World Cup semi-final, the world is watching. You've got all the technology at your disposal. Why make a decision on a red card when it's clearly not a red card? Why don't you go to the video referee or go to your touch judge and says, guys, let's have a look at this. Is this really a red card?
This referee, Alan Roland, let's get it into perspective. He's refereed all over the world. He's refereed, Heineken Cup finals. He refereed the last Rugby World Cup final. He is supposed to be one of the best referees in the world. I'm sorry, he has made a terrible decision there.
Terrible.
We can talk about it more at the end of the game. The damage is done. What do Wales do from this point on? They've done their best to regroup.
Yeah, I think, let's be positive. It's still 6-3. We're still in the game, and I think we do look more threatening with the ball than France. So when you've got the likes of Jamie Roberts, Shane Williams still in the park, we've got a chance. So if anything, you know, we're a fitter side than France, so fingers crossed that'll take us across the line second half.
And it was compounded, of course, by the earlier loss of Adam Jones as well. Is this where the Welsh fitness, or almost legendary Welsh fitness, will come into play?
The fitness will be important, but also you've got to practice for scenarios. So, you know, when you're training, you think, what happens if we get a man sent off? I think tactically they're going to have to change things a little bit at half-time. You know, there's a possibility they might bring more of a tactical kicker on like Stephen Jones, because they have to play the game now in France's half of the field, because any penalties, it's going to be very interesting to see how the referees the second half as well, because he knows he's bound to have gone in at half-time. He knows he's made a bad call, and he's got to, you know, he's going to try and even it up humanly.
Yeah, well, if he's watching this studio output, he certainly knows he's made a bad call. Welsh dressing room right at the moment, fired by a sense of injustice, and fired there by the words of Sean Edwards as well, determined somehow to beat the odds and defy what we feel is one of the worst refereeing decisions that the World Cup has seen. It's France ahead at half-time in this semi-final. France out early at Eden Park, no doubt feeling good about the position they're in, coming into the second half of this World Cup semi-final, leading Wales by 6 points to 3. Wales down to 14 men, though, with captain Sam Warburton sent off. Unjustifiably sent off, we feel, here in the studio, but Martin Williams, it will require a miraculous effort in that second half that's coming up. Are they capable of it?
Yeah, most definitely. I think you saw the last 20 minutes there, you know, the boys picked themselves up, dusted themselves down and got on top of the French. We're winning the aerial battle, which is a good sign, so fingers crossed we can grind a win out.
And there'll be an anger there, which is a good thing.
I think there will. Sometimes we've seen in not just in rugby, in many sports, when a team you know, feels aggrieved, they get a player sent off, they actually respond by really upping the energy levels. And you know, Wales have just got to be a bit smarter tactically now in the second half.
But controlled aggression.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Controlled aggression. I like the way that they sat in the changing room half time. It was calm. So we've got a job to do here, guys. We've got our captain down. Now we've got to fight for him.
France ahead. We're back with Michael Owen and Nick Mullins.
Could be the most extraordinary 40 minutes in the history of Welsh rugby. Let's see. France have won the kick-off at the start of the second half, overshooting Welsh hands. Julien Bonner tackled on the 22. This is Aaron Orderkeep. Mallet protects it, picked up by Servat. Neither side, by the way, have made any more changes at half-time. Is going to be instructed to see how Warren Gatland uses his bench, though. He'll need to use it wisely. Players will tire quickly. A man down. Or at least more quickly. This is Pape. The French get into this kind of area, you're always waiting for the drop goal. It's become such a feature of their game in recent years. And here it comes. Clipped off the boot of Parra. And clipped wide.
Great start to the second half by France. Exactly what they needed. They got a turnover from the kick-off, and then they just played in the middle of the field, bashing away, bashing away. Parra's in the pocket, goes for the drop goal. And there was a pretty good chance they should probably get that.
Boys in the studio talking about how Wales will have reacted to what went on at half-time. I guess if you're French, Michael, you'd have said, let's put this game to bed as quickly as possible, because if we're going to the final 20 and it isn't, then you never know.
Definitely in France, you could just see it, they visibly lifted after that, after Sam Warburton went off. You could really see them, all the energy came into the game.
How about that for a take from Lee Halfpenny? Fullback with his favourite position at school. That's where he's playing now. George North took the ball on, but as a result of that outstanding Halfpenny take, Wales will have the penalty. Yashvili was the man who was caught offside despite his protestations.
It was a great take by Lee Halfpenny. He's been brilliant for Wales since moving to fullback. Very, very good player, gives them a cutting edge. You just saw the work from Bonner when George North carried up. He's been really prominent in the tackle area, turning Wales' ball over.
Told us this week that he can jump 37.5 inches from a standing start. Put 3 12-inch rulers on top of each other and imagine how high that is. That's why Lee Halfpenny, despite not being the tallest bloke in the world, is such an effective fullback, and that's what won him the ball just then. But the French have it back, and Bonaire boots it long downfield, and it will bounce rather accommodatingly into touch.
That's where France really can press home their extra man advantage as well. The set piece, you've seen in the scrum, Paul James having a really difficult time with France with that extra man, and Paul James out of position. And then in the line-up as well, Wales, like you said earlier, down to 6 men, down to 6 or 5 men, they can't do exactly as they would have planned. It makes the calling much more difficult for Alan Wynne-Jones.